He's running and running. He's running.
I'm running.
He's running.
I'm a running man.
He's running and running.
BaconBit.
I'm so mad.
Are you mad?
I'm so mad right now.
This isn't a BaconBit.
I'm just angry.
Oh, okay.
To the chopper.
I'm so mad. And that is my only character trait.
Hey, listener. We are going to do a review of The Running Man 2025, directed by Edgar Wright and starring Glen Powell. And don't you worry, we're not going to spoil it here in the first bit.
Well, that's important for you, Joel.
Because I haven't seen it yet.
Oh,
Yeah.
Joel.
We're gonna send you away.
Rumor has it it's R.
Yeah.
And 2 of us on Bacon Cell have seen it, so that means BaconBit.
That means BaconBit. So I'll be here for the first part as you guys review it. And then when you start doing spoilers, I'm getting out of here.
We're sorry. It's been a while.
Yeah,
So here we
should
are
do
with
more
another
of these.
BaconBit.
I'm sorry about that. Hey, a man joins a game show in which contestants allowed to go anywhere in the world are pursued by hunters hired to kill them. Again, directed by Edgar Wright
And based
starring
on
Glen Powell.
Richard Bachman's book.
Richard Bachman. Who's that?
That's a little weird because I thought you were going to say in a future dystopian America, a wrongfully accused and convicted policeman gets a shot at freedom when he's forced to participate in a TV game show where convicts called runners must battle killers for their freedom.
That is also The Running Man.
Almost all of that is actually correct, except for the whole
So,
inciting
arena.
incident thing.
So
in 1987, they made The Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it was based off the Richard Bachman book, as you're saying, Stephen King.
Yeah.
But it took that original idea, kind of like all good Stephen King adaptations, it almost has nothing to do with the actual work.
Yeah.
And it became
It's like, cool idea, bro. We're going to change it.
It became a totally 80s movie where there was just a fun game show with killers with nicknames.
American gladiators that will
Totally.
kill you.
Right.
Yeah, and it was even starring, wrestlers and
Yeah.
and a great turn by Richard Dawson, who hosted Family Feud.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, it's a fun movie.
And,
Right.
and it's perfect for the 80s, but it's obviously dated.
Yeah.
And so now we get a remake with, I think that maybe no one really remembered that movie existed other than ones that grew up with it.
Well, and when I first heard they were remaking The Running Man, my thought was, I don't know, we don't want to think that was so much fun and campy 80s action. We don't want to mess with that.
So just to clarify, you like the Arnold Schwarzenegger
Yes.
Running Man?
Yes.
Okay.
Love.
Kent?
Love.
Love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
But then
I like it.
I was like, I don't know about that. And then they said Edgar Wright's directing it. I'm like, all right, tell me more. Mm-hmm. And
Obviously, big fans, the 3 of us, of
Yes.
Edgar Wright's work.
Edgar Wright
I don't
from
think
Shaun
he's
of the
made a
Dead,
bad
from
movie.
Baby
personally.
Driver, from Scott Pilgrim. Like there's a variety of.
We love a Cornetto trilogy. And, if at World's End is your weakest movie, you're doing well.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And Zach, you came with me to Last Night in Soho a
did.
couple of years ago. And so
Loved it.
felt right to have you at this one with
I
me.
loved being there.
So that then we could go to Joel and say, hey, remember Edgar Wright? Like, here's why you should or shouldn't be excited for this one.
Yeah.
And so I've been dying to talk to Zach specifically about this.
Yeah, we
Because you guys saw it, but then you didn't talk about it at all.
we don't do that, and
We ran away from the theater hoping. And
From Running Man, I get it.
Yeah.
And Zach, are you okay? I feel like you had a bad experience.
Oh, I did. I took public transit.
Yeah.
And this is pertinent to the story because I did feel, I don't know if you ever walk out of a movie and you feel like you're kind of still in it or you're living
Yeah.
in that world.
Oh, yeah.
So because he's running around the city and it's cold and he's trying to get away, he's wearing jackets and stuff. And I'm walking to the train and I see a train coming and I'm like, oh no, I need to get on that. And so I run over and I get on the train and I sit down and I feel like I'm in the world of The Running Man. And then it tells me I'm on the train headed the wrong way.
No.
And so now I'm scrambling and I'm running around in my brain because I'm just sitting on a train and going, okay, at the next stop I'm going to switch. And the train pulls into the next station and there's my train sitting there, doors open. And as I get off, doors closed.
No.
And the movie, this is Utah's light rail tracks, and it moves forward about an inch and then hangs out at a stoplight. And I'm pushing the button. Let me on, please.
Yeah,
let
But
me
they
on.
weren't at the stops they wouldn't let you on?
And then they didn't. So it went away. And so what do I get? After seeing a movie about a guy who's looking over his shoulder, I'm looking over my shoulder.
Yeah.
Nighttime in the Wild West of downtown Salt Lake City.
Near the gateway, though.
Yeah.
It's still-
I'm at the old Greek town station or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
And it was just kind of funny. And so I had 15 minutes to wait. So what did I do? I just kind of ran through the city to the next train stop. It felt very fitting after watching this. It was kind of fun.
Wow.
Similar to your travel route,
Yeah.
this train went the wrong way.
Oh,
Joel,
no.
this movie kind of sucks.
You're saying about Edgar Wright, Ken?
Kent,
It
sucks.
It's not good.
Kent,
No.
that is bold. That's
Yeah.
a bold thing you just said. Joel, this movie is awful.
No,
Kind of hate it.
guys, this is on my most anticipated.
I know.
Glen Powell is now by far and away taking the title of my least favorite actor.
So
I think that
Listen.
he ruins this movie.
he ruins this movie. It's acting to the extreme. So when this movie starts, once again, no spoilers, but he's meant to play a man at his most desperate point in life. That is why he inadvertently gets into the Running Man competition.
Before you go any further,
Yes.
are you familiar with the book?
Oh yeah,
No,
we should say.
but this does follow it semi.
That's what I heard. From what I heard,
The synopsis that I read, this does follow the book story much closer.
this reboot does.
And so you think he's going to be, and he's living in the slums. You think he's going to be in a really bad way. He's always perfectly handsome, manicured Glen Powell living in the slums. You never once believe that he's actually suffering.
No, he had a
Unlike
bloody
Arnold
nose.
Schwarzenegger.
He had blood on his stubble on his nose for a whole day underneath his perfectly pearly white teeth.
For about 20, and that's why Zach kind of at the beginning of this show, he goes, oh, I'm so mad at the system all the time. And you're like, cut it out, man. We get it. You're overdoing it.
I'm sad right
You know
now.
who played Mad better than Glen Powell? Everybody. But like Ben Stiller in Mystery Men does a better job at playing an angry character.
Captain Furious. What is it?
Yeah, Mr. Furious.
Mr. Furious, that's
He
it.
does a better job than Glen Powell.
And Joel,
Pretty Boy
I'm
Central.
sorry. I'm sitting there going, you know what? Edgar Wright movies, it takes about 20, 30 minutes for some of them to become lovable classics, right? And so the first 20 minutes of this movie, I'm like, oh no, I hate this. But don't worry, don't worry. Yes, we have a walking montage. We have a great musical number. We've got a strutting scene. And I was like, yep, we're here. Okay, I'm into it, because there were parts that I was like, I'm in. And then immediately after, I'm like, I'm out again. The editing in this movie is like Edgar Wright didn't care. This feels like a studio-driven movie that he just sat back and went, fine, who am I, McG? This felt like a McG movie.
I was going to ask if, despite the Glen Powellness, if Edgar Wright shone through.
Remember Baby Driver? How there was choreography with the gunplay, with the driving, with the violence.
Or him walking around and you see the graffiti that's the lyrics of the song.
Yeah.
None of that.
None of that.
What?
If it didn't say his name, you would have no clue Edgar Wright made this movie.
That's
No clue. There's
It's
maybe one
devastating.
sequence.
you guys, this is exactly my worst fear, because
I know.
when I
No,
thought,
me too.
they're rebooting Running Man, I'm like, oh please, it's gonna be like some February release action movie no one cares about.
It should have been.
And then Edgar Wright was attached to it. I was like, oh, I'm interested now. And you're saying that it doesn't matter.
And it's
still
interesting
bad.
because I've talked to other critics, and they are like, are you crazy? This movie was amazing and hilarious. And I'm like, are we just accepting slop? Are we accepting slop that would have come out
Calling Edgar Wright slop?
in this movie? Yeah.
It's just, it feels like somebody from the studio just directed the direction of this movie. They just said, make a pretty faithful adaptation of a Stephen King pseudonym, pen name.
Yeah.
Of a Stephen King novel. Do it pretty close. And it's like he got two scenes to do Edgar Wright stuff.
Yes.
There is maybe one sequence with a character that you meet about halfway through that was like, maybe Edgar Wright, maybe. But overall, I don't feel his energy in this at all.
All that said, this could be a crowd pleaser. There are good things about this. For example, Coleman Domingo plays the show host of The Running Man. And he's meant to be this charismatic guy that's supposed to lead the audience a certain way, right? Based on his charisma. And he's great.
Yeah.
Like, anytime he was on screen, I'm like, yep, if I was in that crowd, I would be loving this reality show.
Because there's a split of a character from the 80s movie. Because Killian was
The Arnold Schwarzenegger character.
Richard Dawson.
Oh, Killian. Right. Yes.
And in this, there's a producer and a host.
So
And I
Josh
actually think that
Brolin
works really well.
And it was like, he's like the guy behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I do like that they give more setup for the show in this one. I think the world lore.
It's 2 hours and 13 minutes long.
Oh, you feel
That is not action movie length.
You feel every bit of that.
I will say there's good lore here. They try to do this Parasite thing where they're trying to make commentary on world powers and the overstretch, like the overreach of them. And it's like beats you over the head where you're like, where's the subtlety? Like, where's the cleverness here? That said, going back to the good stuff, the music's good.
Yep. Couple good
There are
music
so many action set pieces. There's so many places where you get to see fun things happen. Like there's a Home Alone scene with Michael Cera, and you're like, you know what? There's a good song playing, and there's funny stuff happening.
That was what I referenced earlier.
It is the best part of the movie,
That's the Edgar Wright part.
and you're like, this is great.
Yeah.
Where was this hiding? Because there is just so much blandness coming from Glen Powell and the lack of oomph to the movie. Like, I don't hate this movie, but I'm so disappointed in what it is.
Swap out Glen Powell with another actor. Let's say
Anybody else.
Michael B. Jordan.
Anybody else. Michael B. Jordan would have been better. Awesome. So actually, the whole time I was wanting Matt Damon.
Yeah.
He would have been like, I feel like for some reason his vibe
because he can play emotional. Because the character
Jessica Lemons.
Yes, the character is meant to be emotional for his reasons of being on the show,
which do align with the book.
And it is meant to be just this like striving for money at all costs, and you're meant to feel the desperation, but you never do from him. Like, to the point where he's like climbing a building naked, and so they can show Glen Powell butt. And you're like,
well, who hasn't done that?
And you're like, what is this movie?
What, you climb buildings with clothes on? What kind of weirdos are you?
Yeah. And I just didn't get, like, is this movie meant to make a point? Is it meant to make me laugh? Because it's doing neither.
Yeah, it's not consistently humorous. It's not consistently, biting political satire. It's not fun. It's not energetic all the time. It really bounces all over the place.
Will people like it fine? Yeah.
How's it going to do at the box office, you think?
Not great.
Poorly.
I think Edgar Wright has never had a huge opening box office
darling.
And that's why I think they've kind of hidden his name, because they are going for Glen Powell and for action movie fans.
Sure.
And based on Predator coming out recently, which is also really mediocre, and then this movie, like, they're like, hey, here's your November action movies. Like, so it's kind of a cool near summer season, and it fits the bill for a lot of people. It's just for what I love, and I hate to be the guy that's like, their old stuff was better, but their old stuff tried.
I don't know who this movie's for.
Oh, I do.
Because it's not an Edgar Wright movie. Mm-hmm. It's not at all as fun as the original movie. And so who wants to watch this movie?
Dad's watching cheap movies on TBS.
Okay.
100%. I will say this.
This is what it boils
down to. Do you feel
to.
like because we are not treating this movie very well that Joel will like this movie because we have set these low expectations?
Possibly.
Yeah.
I think maybe for the listener as well, where you're saying, no, that we actually think this is terrible. I don't think this is a terrible movie. I think that this is a disappointing movie, and those are different.
So, Joel,
his highest grossing movie, by the way, is Baby Driver.
All of Edgar Wright's movies are steaks, right? You can get some amazing steak.
Is this the Game of Thrones theory?
This is his Sizzler's Salisbury steak.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, it's still steak.
Not Sizzler steak, it's Salisbury steak.
Okay, maybe we'll just say Sizzler steak. It's overcooked.
Yeah.
And there's no taste to it.
Yes.
And for that reason,
and much like those steaks, I want to just go and replace it with something else. Something better.
You want a Malibu
but
chicken?
I can't. I only have it. I'm sorry.
But it's still steak, right? You're still like,
yeah, it's still fine.
It's a movie to watch.
Yeah. There's definitely things to like. We are being very harsh on it, but
we are.
Give me grades here.
We walked out of the theater wanting to talk because I think we were both flabbergasted at how much we didn't like it.
Well, you get to vent here in a second after I leave, but I just want to know your grade.
Based on what I'm saying, it sounds in the D range. It's a C minus. Okay. It is below average because it's just that kind of like mass produced action movie.
Right.
But my disappointment makes me more upset about it. But based on like the actual movie review, it's a C minus quality movie.
Yeah, I was thinking like a 5 out of a 10.
Yeah.
Like I really was just somewhere in the middle. I was actually a 6 out of 10, and then Ken and I just said a couple words to each other, and I dropped it one score because I do that.
What did you say?
We literally said, Zach said,
is it a spoiler?
No, he just said, could you act any harder anymore?
I said, have you ever watched a movie and looked at an actor and just thought, wow, you're acting? And that's what Glen Powell is like in this movie. He is what the word I like to use is effortful. He is very effortful in this movie, and it really takes a lot away, and it's unfortunate. So I'm going to give it, just a 5 out of 10. I think it is mediocre, but just the biggest disappointment coming from one of my.
I'm actually sad right now.
I know.
Guys.
I'm so sorry.
I'm going to walk out of this room sad now because you guys are into spoilers.
There are times when I get headaches because I'm so sad about a movie experience, and this is one of those times.
Yeah. Probably my biggest letdown of the year.
All right. Well, I'm going to walk out of the room Charlie Brown style with my head down and lick my wounds because I'm sad about this.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, maybe you'll like it when you see it.
I I may, because it's not like we always agree on things, but just my expectations are high.
I know.
And so the fact that Edgar Wright isn't delivering on what he's previously done, because was Baby Driver his last one?
No, that was previous to Last Night in Soho.
Also really good.
Yeah.
So coming down from that, it's going to make me sad.
This is probably a big knock, but put your expectations on the level of a Tron movie, and you'll have a good time.
See, that's the problem. I actually really like this last Tron movie.
But you had a low expectation, right?
True. Yes. All right, I'm getting out of here then.
Can I say one nice thing about the world? It's not a spoiler while we wait for Joel to leave. I really liked that they did the future from the perspective of the 80s.
Yes.
Based on the cars.
Right.
Like the cars were all like 80s style cars for the future. So it was like Back to the Future 2.
I liked the ties to Maine, because in all Stephen King's books you have like Derry or
there was a Derry reference
in parts of Maine, and in this movie they go there because it's a Stephen King story.
Why not?
Joel, tell us when it's safe. Okay, let's just start with the beginning of the movie because it's not going to matter much spoiler-wise. Okay, it's time for spoilers.
Yes.
We're going.
Yes.
Okay, so like I described, at the beginning of the movie, he's meant to be a man in a desperate place, and he just got fired from his umpteenth job for insubordination.
Yes.
And if you get fired, you can't survive.
Well, and the insubordination being, is standing up for labor rights and worker integrity, and he was too good of a person, which does apparently align with the book.
Right. And he has a wife who is a lady of the night, I guess, and a daughter who is sick.
Yes, a 2-year-old daughter who has the flu.
And he's like,
badly.
She's going to die if we don't have money for meds. And he's
new dollars, new bucks.
Yeah, new dollars. Yeah. And so he's like, I'm not going to do Running Man because it's going to kill me. Because Running Man's been going for about, let's say, 15 years.
Yeah,
right?
I don't remember how many.
And it's the biggest show in the world, which is run by the Network Group. Yeah. And the Network Group runs everything. It's like Netflix, almost, if Netflix also ran the government and the police state. Right? Yes. Does that feel safe to say?
Yeah, sure. Kind of like a V for Vendetta thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so they control everything. They control propaganda and just the way that rich people live and people in the slums. But apparently not people in just neighborhoods that are just living their lives, which there's quite a bit of them. Anyways.
Only once you get out of the city and you're driving around Maine.
Yeah. And so he joins these like lowbrow TV shows to make like $1,000.
Yes. And a big differentiation between the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie and this, which again does more align with the book, is Arnold Schwarzenegger was falsely accused, and it was more like, I actually jokingly referenced Tron, but it was more like Tron, where it's like, we captured you, now you're in the games. In this world, it is a way to make money, and so people actually willingly go and sign up and go through physical and mental tests to be paired with a show to then basically just be fodder, which to literally get hurt or killed.
We're seeing this now done really well with like the first season of Squid Games, right?
Yeah.
Where it's done really well.
Yeah.
Right. The stakes are there.
There's a reason that you're there. And it's not something like the Hunger Games where you're like chosen to be there and you have to be there. It's like, no, this is an opportunity for you to, upgrade your station.
Yeah.
At the expense
of your life.
Of your life.
And they know what they're doing. They create each season of this show knowing that no one will ever win. But they want to create characters. They want to get ratings. They don't want to just kill people up front. No. And so they introduce, instead of the 1987 version where they have all these like wrestler big boss battles, right? Yeah. You have one boss of the Hunters. And the Hunters is a group of hunters that will find you. But there's one named McCone. And he's a masked man that looks straight out of Team Fortress.
Yeah.
And he's like masked for a reason. You're like, oh, okay, who's this guy? Okay, I have no idea. But they've made a couple allusions to, we'll save it. We'll get there.
Yeah.
But basically, they will find whoever you go with. And what's his name? Glen Powell.
What's his name?
He's there with a guy from SNL and with this strong chick. And they are a cannon fodder, but he's meant to be the one that's like going to survive, or at least survive the longest.
Yeah.
And so because he does get brought into the game and gets tricked, kind of like led into it by Josh Brolin, who plays the head of the studio, the head of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And
Gillian.
And he's basically like, hey, your family will make money. You may die, but last the longest, and your family will never they'll never want for anything again.
Right.
And that's a pretty good case to make, right? Because he's clearly willing to sacrifice for his family. And so he's in the show, and the show gives you 30 days to survive being found anywhere. You are untracked, except for you are kind of tracked along the way.
Yeah.
And
That's where it gets a little squirrely.
But it's basically a surveillance state where things can see you. There's cameras everywhere. There's cameras that can like basically sniff you.
Yeah.
And anyone that reports you will also get
An element
a bounty.
I really liked. It's like you
Yeah.
can get involved. The audience can win money by ratting these people out.
Yes. And yeah, I did like that part as well.
Yeah.
Where, he runs into a few of these people, and this movie doesn't back away from him being like, I don't want to hurt anybody. He kills people.
Yeah, it's not like I'm going to be the moral center. I'm a good person at heart. It's like, no, he'll take people out.
And if
he wins more money
and if you
for
kill
it.
people, you make more money, which also brings a little darkness. It's interesting. We didn't bring this up with Joel here, and we probably should have, but it's rated R, and it's like a 14-year-old's version of a rated R movie without the nudity, where it's just like, yeah, we're going to throw in a couple F words in here.
Yeah.
Because the violence, like there was gunshots.
Yeah, that
was kind of it.
There's a little bit of blood splatter, but I think as far as the violence goes, minor tweaks makes this a PG-13 on the violence level.
Right.
And
I'm surprised because it feels like a studio movie. They didn't just make it PG-13.
I actually thought it was.
Oh.
And then there was a few swear words. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, this is not. But again, that could be taken out pretty easily.
Yeah,
when
probably
Joel
should have
watches
been.
this movie, he's going to see most of it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And yeah, maybe it would have been better with that. I'm not sure. But.
So the whole time he's making these 10-minute videos a day, because that's part of the challenge where you have to report in, kind of like create content for the show, and say, I'm still alive. You'll never find me. And I'm like, we're going to find you.
Also from the book.
And so he does this, but much like the movie, probably just like the book, they can edit any scene through their own AI.
Manipulate, yeah.
That you are saying horrible things about the audience because their audience that watches them live in studio is all like white trash, basically. They're like, hey, we're manipulating the masses. Meanwhile, 2 billion people are basically going to be watching the finale of this show.
Sure. I mean, it does say a lot about what's reality TV is now, where it is manipulated to tell a story. It's doing that.
Here's what this movie did wrong, and it makes me want to drop my grade. Are you ready? There's so much potential here to create a world that's like Starship Troopers, where everything becomes satire.
Yes.
And everything is, even the advertisements, they made up one cereal in this movie where you're like, oh yeah, I get it. That would probably exist in this world. And it's right next to Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Literally just Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Yep.
Or they're like, at one point they said, hey, you want a monster?
Yeah.
And I said, I like looked at you with anger.
Yeah.
I was like, you could call that ghoul, right? You could call that anything else that's a parody of what we know it is, right? They never did that. In fact, there is, sorry, Zach, I am talking way too much.
No, you're doing great.
Tell us about the Americanos.
Okay, there was a recurring thing, a genuine chuckle from me, of essentially the Kardashians reality TV show. So in this world, people either watch The Running Man or The Americanos, and it had a cute little theme song, and it came up a couple of times enough to make it like, oh, this is the funny part of this movie.
Why?
It completely becomes tonally inconsistent with the movie.
Because they could have done so much instead of just repeating lines that were on the Kardashians.
Yeah.
They could have brought that into the story. In fact, there is a character that comes in literally 80% through the movie, played by Amelia Cook. Yeah. And she becomes his hostage / partner, where you're like, were you meant to be there at the beginning? Were you meant to be a love interest? Like, what's going on here?
Amelia Jones, thank you.
And I thought she was a member of the Americanos. I thought she was a cast member.
Would have been kind of a cute little connection.
Nope.
They were talking about it.
Yeah, she watches the show.
She watches the show.
How do you feel about the pacing?
All over the place.
Because it's meant to be 30 days. They only end up going about 17, 18 days.
Yeah. And then I think it ends in a waterfall. It just kind of like it's like extended action scene. By the way, the movie's over. But the issue that I had is there's 2 or 3 moments that are unreliable narrator where I go, I don't know. Is that how it ended? Because in the book, spoilers for the book.
Yeah, go on.
In the book, he ends up on a plane, and he does the sacrifice of he flies the plane into the building.
Oh, into the network building.
Into the network building to end it. That is how that story.
Okay. And that's how it ends?
That's the ending.
Okay.
So it's a sacrifice. And I like that idea, and like those elements were there, but that I will say that's not how this movie ends. But I didn't get enough of the satirical world. I wanted more. I don't know. Like Sean Hayes is in this movie very, very briefly as the host of another game show, and which was actually mentioned in the book as well, where you're running on a treadmill trying to ask questions. And where's the fun of this world? Where's the Stanley Tucci in the Hunger Games of this world? Okay, you kind of get it from the host of The Running Man.
Sure. Coleman Domingo.
Yeah. I think he's great. And so there's these little things here and there that are like, this is going to be an energetic world. It just doesn't feel that way. And then eventually it just becomes main in a almost like a zombie movie. I don't know. It's just.
So by the end of the movie, there's a kind of a, there's going to be a final showdown, because they basically say, hey, take me to your leader. And all the hunters like, sure. Okay, let's go, because we're going to make you a celebrity, because at this point, the audience is behind you. The people are behind Ben Richards.
Yeah, they're cooking the books in that they do not want a regular person, a citizen, to make the kill. Mm-hmm. So they will actively work to prevent that.
Yes.
And they have to kill them during the show. It has to be in a specific way. And so, or
they have to join them.
There are many opportunities for them to end this, but they have to do it in favor of the show. And so it suddenly becomes hands off. And I didn't care for that.
There's one scene where he's finally facing off against, I think, a villain that had a lot of aura, the McCone, the guy who's wearing a mask. And he goes, I'll come do the end of your show. This is, by the way, Glen Powell being angry. I'll do the end of your show if this guy takes off his mask. And so Killian's like, yeah, take off your mask. And he takes off the mask, and it's a reveal. Like, I almost thought Benedict Cumberbatch would have been there saying, I am Khan. It's Lee Pace. And you go, oh, it's Lee Pace. Okay.
Yeah. What does that even mean?
And then about 10 minutes later, they go, he's the guy that we mentioned that made it to day 29 in the first season.
We've mentioned a couple of times that a guy made it almost all the way.
And so he got recruited, even though he was once the hero and now he's the main killer. And I was like, who cares?
Yeah. I didn't know if it was a connection to the old movie that I wasn't getting. I didn't know if it was a character that I missed. Yeah, it was a total. It actually, weirdly enough, made less sense than the Benedict Cumberbatch Khan reveal, because at least there was something happening. This was just, oh, that's a guy.
Yeah,
I've seen that guy before.
So Ben Richards decides, he's on the plane, and he's like, everyone, turn off your TV. Oh, by the way, real quick before we talk about the end, if this movie wanted to be effective, and I know it's a trope and it's been used before, show people watching their TV. Show the Truman Show.
It shows a couple of people in bars.
That's it.
Yeah.
But they're like 2 billion people are watching. I'm like, oh, there's like 50 people watching in studio.
Yeah.
But that's about it. Like, I did not get the bigger picture here. Anyway, so he's in the plane, and they're trying to frame it like he's going to crash into all of us and kill us. And he's like, no, I'm not. I just want to land. But he's like, turn off your TV now. And they blow up the plane before it hits the building. And then you're like, oh, yeah, okay. I don't really care what happened. And then you get this guy who we met about halfway through the movie, who is kind of a YouTuber.
Yeah.
Basically. And he's like, I'm the conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
And he comes out and he says, you think it ended there? You think Ben Richards died? And he gives this whole like, I bet he's still out there. And he explains the end of the movie.
Yeah, the end of The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah. Which, Ben Richards takes down the station. He's the leader of the resistance. And the network is down. And it ends on the worst, just like freeze frame of him pointing a gun.
It just feels like there was, we ran out of time. We're done.
Yeah. Even though it went 2 hours and 13 minutes.
Yeah. It just kind of, I actually found myself going, it's over?
Yeah.
Because it ends very strangely. It just kind of says, I don't care what you do. Just tie a bow on everything. We're done. And I hated the ending.
This movie agitates me.
Me too, because it could be good. I feel like there's nuggets of goodness. So let's go back and talk about the Michael Cera sequence. I think the best of what this movie could be, where you've got a quirky guy who's helping you, who tells a melodramatic story about a hot dog vendor, his
out of
hot
nowhere.
dog vendor father.
Out of nowhere.
Don't mention hot dogs. Immediately mentions hot dogs.
And also,
it was my dad.
They're going to mail your videos in. They never do.
Yeah,
but he had a mom who was like super kooky and was great.
Almost out of a horror movie.
Yeah, she was.
So very much the only Edgar Wright part to me. And then I think back to moments like him, you mentioned earlier, him hanging naked off of the side of a building with a rope attached to a lit up letter Y. And he just looks at it and goes, why?
It's great.
What, ha, 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 ha. What is this movie?
No, listen, that was a moment of, I was like, yeah, that's kind of dry humor. I'm into that because I was desperate.
Because you want any of that charm that you know and love. I mean, there is more charm in the scene where Kieran Culkin answers the door in Scott Pilgrim, and Scott jumps out the window. He just left or whatever. Just that alone is 10 times more charming than this entire movie put together.
Yeah,
and I am disappointed for it because I wanted this to be when I find myself going, I wish this was more like Tron. I wish this was more like, what's that movie where Jason Statham can't let his heart rate get down? I wanted it to be like Crank. I wanted it to have energy. I wanted it to be like Baby Driver, where you have this frenetic pace with the snappy editing. And
I wanted it to feel just like that, like a video game where it's almost like you're following a character in real time.
Yeah.
And the action set pieces would have been fun, real, and fluid. Whereas this one was like, oh, that was pretty crazy. That was an explosion. He's going to get away for like 4 days. And they're going to find him again.
I just now pieced together that Michael Cera's in this movie and he's Scott Pilgrim. Oh, cool.
I mean, it is cool, but
I want this movie made 10 years ago.
Okay.
It's like, I don't know if Edgar Wright lost his spine. I don't know what's happening here. But again, if it had the pacing of Scott Pilgrim, this would be one of my favorite movies ever.
Does this movie bomb and Edgar Wright goes back to like tried and true classic British stuff?
Yeah, he makes another movie with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost.
Please. Although I'd be scared at this point.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't necessarily want that. I prefer we'll call it the evolution that we saw in Last Night in Soho. I don't think Last Night in Soho screams Edgar Wright either, but I think it is a very well-made movie. I think it's an homage to a certain style, and it has style, just not his. So there's nothing wrong with that because I love Last Night in Soho. I've seen it many times.
But it's almost like he went so indulgent in Last Night in Soho, and he removed all indulgence for this movie.
Yeah. This has no soul. The Running Man has no soul. And Glen Powell is terrible.
He's terrible.
He is so bad.
So listen, I mean, I'm still kind of sitting at a C-. I may drop it just to be an antagonist here, but it's just a milquetoast movie. You're just like, if you like action movies, it's fine.
You'd never know it was Edgar Wright.
Never.
And you're going to wish that you weren't watching Glen Powell.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're going to wish it wasn't Edgar Wright because you're not going to be disappointed.
Yeah.
If I told you that, Fierro Williams, a guy you've never heard of, directed this movie.
Fierro!
It's like, he was a producer on one of the Expendables movies. You're like,
Makes sense.
that all lines up. This one's actually decent.
So listen, if you are seeing this movie, if you saw this movie, please let us know what you thought. And
this, to me, is going to be a commiseration movie. People are going to get together and go, why was it so weird?
Yeah.
But like not good weird.
And completely forgettable.
Yeah, sad.
All right, till next time.
Climb buildings with clothes on? What kind of weirdos are you?